can never break your pride. Don't believe what they tell you. They try to sell you. When dreams died, plans fell through. They can never break your pride. They can never take your pride.
Welcome to The Topics. I'm Adrian Stewart, and with me today it's Tom Crusopan and Valerie McKinsey. Today's topics are influential lawbreakers. We will be talking also about Facebook being banned, the Bangkok governor race, about Silagra being available in Thailand, and about, of course, what we're seeing all around us, deep trouble, floods. What happened to the American embassy in Libya, and our most controversial topic, I won't even tell you what it is yet. And let's address our first topic, influential lawbreakers. Last week, she was a singer. She was stopped by police at a roadblock. Apparently, she was suspected of driving under the influence. She refused to take a breath analyzer test initially. The media gathered. In the end, she had to take a breath analyzer test, and she was found to be above the legal limit for driving. But a lot of interesting things happened in the meantime. Like, there were stories about her passing her phone onto the cop and saying, please talk to this person. She was trying to whistle her way out of trouble. So we are seeing a lot of these stories of how people with influence or connections try to get themselves out of trouble. Valerie, do you have something to say about this?
Sure. I mean, this is Thailand. The reality is that if you don't have influence, you actually don't have anything, quite frankly.
Does influence mean just people, connections, or it's also about money?
Sure, it's a combination of both. It's about money.
So money buys influence?
Both.
Okay.
But I think it's money. It's the money, certainly. But I think it doesn't matter whether it's this singer, whether it be the gentleman who is the managing director of a company and runs over a policeman. It doesn't matter who it is. If they are known, even before there's any connection made or any comments made by the police, what happens? We know that, they're going to get off. We know they're going to get an easy go, let's say. So it's part of the law here.
And it's accepted by Thai society?
Sure it is.
Tom.
It shouldn't be, but it is.
You're Thai, so...
I'm so sad about this thing. This has-been singer, right, can actually think that she has influence enough that she can get away with things. Look, to me, this has got to stop. Thailand is going completely off on the wrong path. It's not only about this singer, Adrian. It's about almost everybody now. If you're rich, if you're wealthy, you break the law, it's almost an assumption you are going to go off scot-free. We just had an heir of a very famous brand name company in this country, runs over a cop.
Sure.
Drags the body 200 meters. And nobody thinks this kid's going to jail.
And then we have the young girl
who kills 9 people.
Same thing. They're going to get off. It's unacceptable. There are 3 sets of rules here. Mm-hmm. There's the rule for the rich, there's a rule for the not so rich, and there's the rule for the foreigner. It's very different.
Well, the sad part is, to be fair, I don't blame the people who are doing it. I don't blame the people who are actually being influenced. What I blame is all of us. I cannot believe that there's just no uproar over this.
Oh, there is. There's
no uproar. You know why? Because of Thai people. I blame Thai people. You guys are horrible. Thai people are becoming horrible people.
You know what? Wait. The uproar happens in a burst.
No. Because that's the point.
Yeah.
Right? No one has an uproar over this. We got to stop. No, because we got to stop this whole thing of mai pen rai, sabai. It can happen to you, right? What if somebody runs you over, and they don't go to jail? The whole point is, and people are telling me it's okay, because why would you want to put this young lady into jail? Why would you want to take this singer off her stage? The issue is this, right? It's us. We are at fault for not having an uproar of not saying what. How come this young lady is not in jail? And the reverse of that is, why should we put her in jail? Hasn't she suffered enough? That's not the point. You put people in jail as a what? As an example. And we don't do that, right? We don't actually congratulate the police officer for, not allowing this young lady to, not get away with her breathalyzer test. We focus more on the star than on the right and the reality. It's got to stop. Thailand is going off on completely the wrong path. The next victim could be whom? the next
be
victim could be you.
Yes,
and we
okay.
don't see
Now
that.
this is what they call
By the way,
a
who's your
system.
daddy? What do you do when you
Well,
get in
if
trouble?
I get into trouble in Thailand, I'll call Tom.
And who does hearing is the question.
I have no idea.
yeah, I am your daddy, yeah.
Coming back to this, these examples that we've just mentioned, it's been, I remember a case of someone who is actually the son of a very influential politician.
3 sons.
Yeah, okay. This
My
son,
3 sons.
Well, let's pick one then. Let's just pick one, all right?
The one you mean that's at the ministry now that's in charge of showing people how to shoot guns. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yes, that's right, that's right. He was actually accused of
Shooting someone.
He was actually accused of shooting someone.
Yes.
And then he managed to actually disappear for a while. And he came back sitting in
I
the
thought he was
first
living
class.
with you.
No, he came back sitting in the first class seat in a flight from Kuala Lumpur. And then he went to trial. And by the time he went to trial, it was about a year or almost 2 years after the incident. Evidence disappeared. Witnesses couldn't remember their story. So, time solves problems as well.
But again, I want to be clear here. That's one example, and it's a very good example because people still remember it. But that's the whole point.
Some people remember. The problem is some people remember.
Nobody remembers it. That's the whole point. That's the problem with Thai people in general.
They have short memories.
We forget very, very quickly.
But Tom, if I can take one statement you made, you said, it's up to us, the public, to come out and make a statement.
How do we do it?
But the reality is, if you do, the government have to take action. And I don't see any government in this country, as we have now, taking action on these issues.
Because any government knows how long our memory lasts. Very short. Right? You have to come out and take action. Look, social media, right? Look at this, the Egyptian situation, right? One guy starts going on Facebook and says, I've had it because, somebody,
Social media is our channel to express our frustration.
I put into Facebook the other day, and I said, I will offer 100,000 baht of my own money to any cop who arrests famous people. I will back them up. I will back up the cops. I will bring the media to you. You know how many likes I got hit on? Maybe on like 60 people agree with me. That's the complacency that's going to cause situations like this, like the 3 sons and the young lady and the Ferrari driver and this has-been singer and more and more and more. We have got to put a stop to this. And we have got to realize that the next victim could be you, which as I walk out of this studio, it actually could be me.
And the other thing too, having commented about the police and the support they get, I mean, it's interesting that with the brand son, shall we say, the branded son who had the Ferrari, one of the cops actually lost his job because of actually trying to put in a false statement, blame somebody else. But I understand in that police station, in that area, now it's saying, well, get him out. And some are saying, well, we should support him. So, are they going to stick together, the police, or are they not? Because that's another issue, isn't it?
I think over time that case will also disappear under the sheet
course it will.
right? Because the focus will be changed onto something more interesting and exciting.
But again, at the end of the day, it's the court system. It's the people that the government can't touch who are going to be influenced. It all comes back down to a fundamental thing. We as Thais, you, me, Valerie, I consider you a Thai person now.
Thank you.
I've been here long enough to be Thai as well.
Guys, go to the web pages.
Yeah.
Don't let people get off scot-free.
It's quite true what you say.
We need to come together. It can happen to you, right? And believe me, somebody's daddy is always going to be bigger than your daddy.
Yes,
right?
Sure, of course.
Right?
There's always a bigger daddy somewhere.
There's always a bigger daddy somewhere. So how about this? Let's get rid of all the daddies, okay? Let's have a slogan now in Thailand. No more daddies.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, so with that, we have to end now because we're out of time and we'll go to break and we'll be back with our new topics in the second break. See you later.
I am Adrian's daddy, okay?
They can never break your pride.
Welcome back, and we talked a bit about social networks. So interestingly, we move on to this topic. There was news that the Interior Ministry was issuing letters to all the provisional officers that they should block Facebook access or not allow Facebook access during work hours. You allowed Facebook access during your lunch break. So what does it mean?
Well, I think there's two parts of it. I mean, as far as the Ministry of Interior, there's Facebook and there's also phone calls. What
Right, they also
they're
mentioned
saying,
phone calls.
Yeah, what they're saying
after
is that you have to get approval to make an international phone call. You have to make get permission to get a domestic phone call around the country. And at the same time, we're going to ban Facebook. You cannot use Facebook during work. I think
the excuse they gave was something about bandwidth, and then it was taking up a lot of unnecessary bandwidth.
Sure.
I think Facebook was just lumped in there because people were also looking at video sites, YouTube, for instance. They were watching too many videos.
The reality of today is that when people are near their phone, when people are near their iPad, all they want to do is play with the phone, look at Facebook. And you walk through any office anywhere. I think the ministry is quite correct, but we're not going to stop it because we've still got our mobile phones. It'll save money, they say.
Right, it was not a move to increase productivity, right? I mean, increasing productivity in the civil service department, that's
we don't
like
understand
an oxymoron,
that here.
right? Yeah.
We don't understand productivity in Thailand.
Right.
It's a non-word, you know. Is that fair enough, Tom?
Let's be clear. On the first segment, certainly I encourage everyone to use social media for the betterment of the country. Right. On this one, I think that the issue is very clear. It's not about Facebook. It's not about phone calls. You know, the Minister of Interior, Kun Yong, which I did, obviously just wanted to see a way to make people more efficient. But I don't think it's only a Ministry of Interior issue. This is
government.
Not only government, even workplaces. Right. I think people have used Facebook now.
Overused
Facebook. Right. I mean, personally, I have an office, about 50 people. I actually had to tell people, stop messaging each other. Go up to their desk and just tell them what you want. You know, my personal assistant, Kunden, I had to say, Dan, stop it. You got to stop messaging people. So to me on this one, this is a good thing, right? I'm not saying, again, I want to be clear, social media to me is the most wonderful tool that a society can have for openness, for getting your message out there. But there's a place for everything. And I think the Ministry of Interior has taken the right path on this, which is say, look, guys, you're using taxpayers' money to come and work, right?
Do you really
need to, well, you know, do you really need to be messaging somebody, uploading something, taking a picture, tweeting, Twitter, I don't know, all of this stuff.
Okay, but Tom, all these things that you mentioned a bit are alternative sources of news, right? But some of them are even more reliable than mainstream news channels.
But I hope if you're at work, right? Are you watching television? Are you allowed to?
Actually, television is always on in any department that I go to.
To be fair, you're not. You're not watching. You're not supposed to watch. Will you allow your employees to watch TV while they're working?
Do you know what the cops? Do you know what the cops in the junction boxes do watch when they are sitting there directing traffic?
I think we're talking about apples and oranges here. I think the issue is very simple. Certainly, something should be complimented, something should be critiqued. On this one, I think the ministry has actually taken the right path, which is you come to work, right? You have breaks. When you go get coffee, you know, turn on your Facebook. And again, if you want to have a lunch break, a dinner, that's fine. But while you're at work, you know, you shouldn't, to be fair, it's only Facebook, right? You shouldn't be surfing sites.
Yeah.
You shouldn't be...
Twitter, whatever it may be, yeah.
You know, and to be fair, Thailand is inefficient enough.
It just makes
anything
it worse.
to make it more efficient. I think it's a good thing.
They mentioned it was from the cost perspective. Was mentioned about,
what is a cost perspective?
About bandwidth.
Every minute that somebody is on Facebook or is not focusing on their jobs, that's cost to the taxpayers. But again, I actually think that all companies should take this.
I think it's a good lead from the ICT ministry that if everybody said, look, you know, we are not going to allow this in the office. I mean, you walk around an office, I've got similar numbers to you. They never turn off a Facebook. That's the annoying part. Even if they're working, they can still get their little chat in the corner. So where is the concentration? It's just not there. And what are they talking about?
I'll be honest, the whole Facebook newsfeed thing. Do I really need to know what kind of cafe latte my friend is having today? It's like, why would I even care?
But actually, Tom, you've got better at using Facebook because you used to use it also as a way of communication. You'd say, we send you an SMS, do you want a meeting? You'd answer on Facebook. So now you've stopped that.
I too can change. I too have learned, right, that having people skills is better than having thumb skills.
Sure, but you go to a restaurant, you know, I mean, we're talking about the workplace and clearly it needs to be banned. But, you know, you go to a restaurant and you see a family sitting there.
They don't talk to each
They
other.
don't
They're
talk
all
to
on
each
their
other.
gadgets. Yeah.
But you know, seriously, we're actually breeding a group of non-communicators. This is the big problem. You know, you go out, you do sit in a restaurant, you do sit in an office, and like with your guy, you know, it's like they just send someone else a message. It's like, I'm here. Why don't you talk to me? You don't get up off your backside and walk in and say, can we do this now? No, it's a message.
Okay.
So-
What was your? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
So
What was your point?
Facebook is not being banned.
No,
Facebook is not
being
So get that
banned.
right. Facebook is not being banned. They are just restricting the use of Facebook. Now that's
During
fine.
work
During work
That's fine.
time.
That's fine. Let's hope they don't restrict access to more information and other sites. Okay, that's a concern.
I have an office in China. I have an office in various countries, right?
Where Facebook is banned
Yeah.
totally.
China, you can't even use Facebook.
That's right.
Right? So I think, to be fair to the Thai government, whether it's the ICT ministry, whether it's this government, the past government, we try, you know. There are things that we do ban, right? And it deals with our royal family, who we respect very, very much. And I think things like that should be banned. To me, you know, at the end of the day, no one's going to ban Facebook. Well, Thailand is what, number 14 in the list of
Oh, I
something?
think
It's
even
got
come
about
up
15
now.
million
Yeah.
users right now.
It's huge.
You know, but guys, I think the whole Ministry of Interior thing is very clear. Know when to use Facebook.
Exactly, and
right?
use it for your private use,
right.
not for business use.
Like what
Or
that-
use it to expose people who
There you go. Use it to expose
Yes,
people.
exactly.
who break the law.
Influential law
Yeah,
breakers.
Influential law
Yeah.
breakers.
Use Facebook for the force of good rather than the force of evil.
Okay. With
Can you
that,
see,
with
can you
that,
see we're going to have a politician here in the next little while?
with that, let's move on to our next topic.
What's our next topic?
Deep trouble.
Deep trouble? Are you talking about me and my...
No, we're talking about the
My
floods.
financial
we're talking about the
situation, is
floods.
that it?
You're prepared for floods.
I am prepared for flood. I want
right?
to...
You
can
don't
hear
have the
this? Can we
socks
hear this?
now. Yeah. See,
I have
Tom is
decided
prepared
to
for
wear
floods.
no socks
Yeah.
for the next 3 months. Just to prepare for the floods.
Okay, so the floods are here.
No,
They're not here.
They're not.
They're,
They're coming.
they're in. Well, hang on. Let's just clarify. The floods every year go to Sukhothai. Every year there's floods in Sukhothai. It doesn't mean they necessarily come down here or into Tom's home or my home as they did last year. So the floods are there. What is really annoying is the fact that the expert gets up and they talk.
There are too many
But
experts.
there are too many experts, and the government don't listen. They've got their own particular group who they listen to.
It's now called the WFMF or whatever it's called.
It's
It's
the
not
same
called
group
FROC anymore.
regurgitated, you know.
What
But
is it called?
The Water Management, I don't know
Yeah.
what it's called
God, I
now.
thought you were talking about Wrestling Federation.
But the
Let me check my
the
notes.
reality of it all is, I think everybody's fed up of hearing about the floods, but everybody's also scared that we're going to have more flooding. That's the
And it's
issue.
called the Water and Flood Management Commission, WFMC.
Boy.
Yeah, it's much better than the
FMC,
frog name that they had last year.
Yes,
the
I can
Flood
see Hulk
Relief
Hogan
Operations
coming out
Committee.
to defend the flood here.
Yeah.
Look, I think people have to be... My house was underwater for 3 months. Yours was too.
Yep, exactly.
Right? You know, my thing is...
You don't want to see a repeat
No,
of
no,
it,
look,
definitely,
look.
right?
I'm very clear. I live in a world of reality, right? I try to, right? The whale is coming, right? Remember that nice little
Sure.
whale, right? Guys, don't kid yourselves. The whale is coming. The issue isn't whether or not the whale is coming. The issue is he staying for a long time this time?
Exactly.
Right.
Well, the government says this year's rainfall was 20% less than last year.
Yeah.
So that means we're going to be seeing less water, so it'll be less problematic. But you know, Tom, they also spent 300 billion baht fixing this flood problem to try to get the water to flow out quickly.
But where's the money gone?
Where's the money gone? I mean, what has changed after 1 year?
You can't overturn, right? Years and years of cutting down trees.
Exactly.
Right? You can't overturn or redo years and years of rivers being clogged up by soot, right?
Yeah, for sure.
You can't clear the fact that
can't
the
do it all in 1 year.
Bang Na roadway to Suvarnabhumi is one big giant dam. You can't do it all in 1 year. I think, you know how the whale's not going to stay for a long time this time? I'll give you the perfect way. If we want the whale to not stay in Thailand or Bangkok all the time, have Kun Sukhumpan, who is the governor of Bangkok, and Kun Yingluck actually get together.
Wouldn't that be nice?
And come to an agreement on who's going to manage this thing.
There is
with
no
that-
manager. There's no manager.
All right, with that, we have to round up because we are out of time, and we will come back
It's
a
getting
little
hot
bit
up,
more
yeah.
of
One
this.
last point.
We'll come back a bit more.
We got to stop on who has the bigger you-know-what in terms of managing the flood.
It's irrelevant. We need
It's
one
irrelevant.
person.
We just need one person. You know, the governor of Bangkok works for the government, so the Bangkok governor the governor of Bangkok, lower your ego by about 2 notches, and the whale will go away very clear.
But let's go a little bit further. I know you're trying to break, but what about us in Nonthaburi? You know, we give in to Bangkok last time. The other thing is these other provinces.
That's right. So we don't care who Bangkok's daddy is.
That's right. We don't. Well,
we don't care who Bangkok's daddy is. You will not flood my house this year, Bangkok.
Or mine either.
There you go.
You're building up your barriers.
That's right.
Sure.
I don't care who Bangkok.
All right.
No
With
socks
that,
either.
with that, we go into break and see you at the next break.
They can never break your pride.
Welcome back, and we touched a little bit about the Bangkok governor. The next topic, interestingly, is about the upcoming Bangkok governor elections.
Coming up soon.
Which will be probably around January or the beginning of next year.
First quarter.
Yeah, it'll be the beginning of next year.
Yeah.
Now, elections are coming up. Bangkok flooded last year. You talked about how the current governor should, you know, lower down his ego. What's going to happen in these Bangkok governor elections?
Well, you know, you should really ask Tom first about Kuning Sudarat. I mean, is she going to stand or isn't she going to
yes.
stand? I mean, this is the issue that we keep hearing. There was stuff in the paper again yesterday.
To all of our expats or our foreign friends sitting out there, you know, let me give you a little background. So the Bangkok governor is coming up sometime next year.
Yeah, we have people who have announced their candidacy.
There's actually one gentleman who
One
has
only.
announced,
Yeah.
and that is the former
Police.
top cop, right?
No,
Super cop.
I think, if I'm not wrong, there was also a guy.
DJ.
A DJ,
Well, yeah, but
Okay.
let's get all the nuts out. You know, I don't want all the crazy people. I don't want to talk about. Right?
The incumbent governor has indicated
No.
he's indicated that he's
The only person who has really announced with any chance is the former super cop Kun Seri Pisut.
Correct.
Right. Right now, everybody's waiting to see who the Pheu Thai government and the
Selects,
Democrats are going to select. On the Democrat side, names have popped up. One being Kun Kon Chanti Kawanik, right? That
the
handsome guy.
former
Tall,
finance
handsome
minister.
man.
The finance minister. I actually like him. Good golfer too, by the way.
That's why you like
good
him.
looking, good golfer, and a hell of a surfer. You know, he is a good surfer. So Kun Gon's name has been floated around as the strongest candidate for either side. Right? People are saying that Kun Gon runs, no, he should be a shoo-in. My sources tell me his wife does not want him even near this race, right? And I think Kun Gon, being in his own wisdom, looks more of himself as a national politician rather than a local guy. So I think Kun Gon will have to make a tough decision. As of right now, but his name is being floated around. The other one is a young lady from the Democrat side, Nuon Palamsam. You may know her from the insurance
company.
And obviously, she's well-dressed. She also owns Hermes here in Thailand. Very wonderful young lady, you know, would make a good candidate. And then, of course, you have the incumbent governor, Sukhumpan Paripat. And he's basically asking the Democratic Party, what did I do wrong?
Okay.
Why aren't you
Okay.
letting me be the new government?
What about the Pheu Thai government?
On the
Who's
Pheu
going
Thai
to be?
side, certainly names are being floated. Kun Plot Prasop, right, who's currently your head of Watch Her Management, the guy who's actually going to kill Moby Dick before he arrives here in Bangkok.
If it floods in Bangkok, he won't have a chance. He won't have a chance.
Yeah, he won't have a chance. Certainly, the other names being floated from the Pheu Thai side right now is Kun Kittirat Natranong, right?
Little white lies.
Is it true?
Is it true?
Is it a truth?
It's only a little white
And
lie.
then obviously the wild card that everybody seems to be talking about is the woman you just mentioned, Kun Ying Sudarat.
No, I read in the papers 2 days ago that there appears to be some kind of
Conflict?
disagreement or conflict. Yes, disagreement or conflict within Pheu Thai with regards to Kun Ying Sudarat's role or position. I've met her thanks to you, and I think she's definitely capable, intelligent, and she would outshine a lot of people if she was.
And maybe that's the problem in Thailand, right, Adrian? And you just hit the nail on the head, right? We have this saying in Thailand: if you fly too high, it gets very cold, you'll get shot down.
Sure.
A person like Kun Ying Sudarat, and you're absolutely right. We all meet. We all have got a chance to meet with her. Is she capable of running Bangkok? The answer is yes.
Sure.
Right? Would she make a good Bangkok governor? By the way, I'm sure all the candidates who I just mentioned would make a good governor for Bangkok. But certainly Kun Ying Sudarat has many years of experience. But obviously, as in anything, people don't want people to outshine each other. So the question really becomes is, can you have two women in the same room? But I think at the end of the day, whoever becomes Bangkok governor in the next round will have a very, very tough job. Not only the flood, certainly with the AEC coming up, can Bangkok be the capital city for AEC, right? Can Bangkok do all the other major cities and really be the centerpiece of this? You got environment issues, you got traffic issues, you got water issues, you got sanitation issues. To be fair, I look at all of these people and I'll tell them, why do you want to be Bangkok governor? It's not
why
an
does
easy
anybody
job.
want to be a politician? I mean, they have an ego. They actually want to be there. I don't know that they think they're going to make a difference, quite frankly. And at the end of the day, there are so many different requirements of what the Bangkokians want. And also, the numbers going out for election of the Bangkok governor are not so impressive, are they, really?
Oh, I think this year, the next election, we might see a difference.
You think?
People,
I'm not
people
sure
want
about
to
that.
express their opinions now, I believe,
But isn't everybody happy because the floods didn't come to Bangkok last year? Aren't the Bangkokians
No,
happy?
but Bangkok,
but,
there were
reality.
parts of Bangkok
But
that
the
was flooded.
central government has always been highlighting the inefficiencies of the Bangkok governor and the BMA in managing many situations, highlighting the disagreements. They are highlighting the disagreements as well to the detriment of the Bangkok governor. I mean, they're probably trying to say if we have people from the same side in power, both national level and Bangkok, things would be better.
But, I'll
Is
tell
that
you
the-
something interesting. I was actually in a meeting about a week ago in regards to this. There has never been, or in a very, very long time, a Bangkok governor who is of the same party as the ruling party for the national government. Never has been.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. So every time there's, for example, when the Democrats are in power, there's,
The Putai or
the
vice
Putai or
versa.
vice versa, right? It's interesting, right? So I think, to be fair, I think there is a lot to be said about coordination, right? When you have a national government and the heart of the country, Bangkok, and they're opposites and they're oppositions and they don't actually want to talk to each other, i.e. flood,
Yeah, sure.
right? When the national government can't order the governor to do something because he's of a different party, even though he may want to do it, right? But just
won't
the
do it.
fact that his party members won't allow him to do it, I think that's a bad thing. So maybe it's a good thing that
Well, it affects
we
the
give
budget
credit
too,
to
Tom,
this.
doesn't
You
it?
mentioned that they were always on opposite sides. I mean, you don't have the same party controlling
and look
both,
at where
right?
Bangkok
so,
is
yeah,
big.
I mean, and so
Exactly.
perhaps that's the way the citizens want. They want a balance. They want to see some kind of a balance
But again,
in power.
I don't think it's a balance, Adrian. I think it's conflict. I think
It
Thai
is
people.
conflict,
I
yeah.
think Thai people deep down, and I'm having a Thai people discussion today, right? I think we like conflict. We like soap operas.
You love
Thai
soap operas,
people
sure.
love lakon nam nao, which
Yes.
means very, very bad soap operas. So you create this soap opera between the national government, the Bangkok government, everybody else. Look, guys, in the words of the famous, American Rodney King, can't we just all get along? The answer is no. In Thailand, you can't all get along. And we have to realize that. So when you elect a Bangkok governor who's not as of the same party as the national government, they won't get along. Because it's not their job to get along. It's their job to create the conflict.
And the other thing too, it's a
It's
budget
also
issue.
their job to solve the problems.
Yeah,
But you can't solve
both
the
on
problem
the
when
national
there's a
and the
conflict.
If there's a conflict, you can't solve the problems. And don't forget also, look at what the budget is. The budgets are always cut when there's
Look
another
at
party
look
in.
At, look at the recent thing that just happened last week. The national government blockers up. I don't know if it was a good or bad idea. I have no idea, right? He says, let's test out the waterway, the
Yeah.
canals, right? Immediately, the Bangkok deputy governor, Kun Tirachon, says, no, don't do it. Guys, I don't know if it's good or bad idea. The whole point is they should have discussed this somewhere
Beforehand,
first.
exactly.
Right? Go have a nice discussion. Go to Starbucks. I don't care. Have a discussion.
But agree.
No,
Agree, yes, yes,
And the sad part is, let's assume that it was a good idea. To me, when I kind of listen to it, I go, well, that's not a bad idea. They want to test to see if there's any blockage, right?
Yeah, but Tom, there are many ways to test.
And
But if you're going to test
I don't
your...
disagree. I'm not saying it's a
Yeah.
good or bad idea. My whole point is, even if it was a good idea, the deputy governor had no chance of even agreeing to it.
Sure.
Because if he did, every member of the Democratic Party would have said, you turn red.
So did you.
That's the problem. In America, we agree to disagree. Here, we just disagree.
Yeah. And we can't see it's killing us.
Yeah.
We're letting all the neighbouring countries go ahead of us.
I think we've hammered this topic quite a bit already.
We
Let's
need
move on
to.
to our next topic.
What's our next
Move on to our next topic? I think a lot of men would agree with this topic. It's called Silagra. Silagra is arriving. Silagra. Have you heard of Silagra? Silagra, the government pharmaceutical.
New Indian ambassador to Thailand?
It's going to be the new Krispy Kreme in Thailand.
The government pharmaceutical office has announced that from October 15, they will have a generic version of Viagra.
Really?
It's called Silagra. It will be available.
It's such a creative name,
Yeah.
isn't it? You know.
What does
Silagra.
Does anybody know what Sila means? Silagra means?
I don't know where they came up with the name, but it comes in 2 doses, right, Verily?
Look, this is just
Hard and harder, what?
Something like that.
Hard and harder? 2 doses?
You know what I love about it? It says, 50 milligram is a little bit of help. If you need a little bit of help, you take the 50 milligram. But I love the one for the 100 milligram. Who needs some serious lift? And you know what? They're talking about the fact that that there's going to be 5 billion of these
What do you
tablets. I mean, it's like
What is it, 5 billion?
5 billion of these capsules are going to be produced. Now, if any of you want these capsules, just go out to Rangsit, And I'm not joking. It's going to be launched on October the 15th. And it's like, as I said, is this going to be Krispy Kreme over again? Are people going to be lining up for Viagra?
I'll tell you, I wouldn't want somebody in back of me lining up.
Is that
I'm going to stand like this, man.
a bit like back to the wall,
Any
right?
guy gets close to me, I'm going to walk away.
Well,
But you know what? I'll tell you what. With all the the sexual overtures that we make here, it's like, why do Thai men? I'm just curious. Why do Thai men need this? Why do we need 55 billion? What's wrong with you guys?
5 billion, that's a lot. Maybe they're trying to actually arbitrage. Look, it's selling at 10% the price of the imported
Yeah,
version.
one that's going to be sold at 25 baht. The international one is 200 baht.
Yeah.
But what the reason they've produced this tablet, which is really very interesting, is the fact that they say that there's too many false products counterfeit products on the market, and they want to take that market right away.
So doesn't someone own the patent to Viagra?
Well, yeah,
It
of
is already
course
out.
they do.
Pfizer's patent's out.
I thought it was actually
No.
extended.
Yeah.
Pfizer's patent's already been out.
How do you know all this detail?
You know something?
Tom has been researching and waiting for Silagra.
I need a lift.
Or do you need a serious
But I'll
lift?
tell you, I'm glad you brought up this topic. This can't only be for Thai people, right? I mean, expats can go get this too, right?
If you live in Thailand.
Do expats-
I know. I would say there's going to be a huge export market for this if it's selling at 10% the price of
depends
the
on
original
excuse
product.
the word, depends on its efficacy.
Okay. Well,
Quite a big word, isn't it? But what a name, so creative.
Can we ask the audience what this means? If somebody actually knows what this means,
Yeah.
go to our
Come and let
Facebook
us
and
know.
share it with us.
because I love to know what this means.
Yeah.
right, we've got
October the 15th, you've got to be there on the queue.
Boy, I'll tell you.
You're going to try it out?
What's that?
You're going to try it out?
All 5 billion at once?
All right, with that, we have to go into a break, and we'll see you after the break.
They can never break your pride.
Welcome back. We start this break on a serious note. America attacked. A couple of days ago, the Libyan embassy, was it an embassy or consulate?
US embassy.
The US consulate in one of the cities in Libya was attacked by extremists, killing 4 people, including the US ambassador. What's going on here?
Well, I'm actually not sure whether it was on the September the 11th or
It was close to it,
But,
actually.
there's always going to be this radical group around that are wanting to kill people.
This time around, they blamed it on some movie, right? There was some movie.
Well, they do
that
blame it on the
portrayed-
movie, but I mean, this is all so pre-planned. I mean, they know what they want to do, when they want to do it, and whether it's a movie or not is irrelevant. The reality is that we're going to have these radicals going out and wanting to kill people and make a name for themselves. I mean, it's easy to see. It's the West or the America versus the rest. This is the way it is now.
They're bringing religion into this, right? They talked about a movie that portrayed Prophet Muhammad in a bad way, because according to their belief, you cannot even have a graphical depiction of the Prophet. So this was a movie, and who made this movie, and who ever heard of this movie before this? I didn't hear of any movie before this.
And this is not a problem that's concentrated with only in the U.S. You know, this is becoming a worldwide
problem.
A global problem. I actually do agree with Adrian on this, and certainly you brought up the point. You know, this was pre-planned. I think this had everything to do with September 11th.
Sure.
You know, it's to remind people that America is the evils of all evils, right? But I think on this one, the radicals, and look, I'm going to say it, it's the Muslim Islamic, you know, radicals side, right? Because the Muslims and the Islamics themselves are coming out and saying, look, we can't have these people around anymore.
Right. Saudi Arabia actually
Yeah.
made an official announcement and you know, criticized these people.
I saw a great picture in the USA Today, you know, where, you know, women of Muslim Islamic beliefs, you know, were out there saying, you know, this is not us, this is not us. So in reality, you know, these people are not hurting the Americans. You know, these people are hurting themselves. And I bring it back here to Thailand. You know what's happening down
the
south,
south,
you know?
Oh, it's the worst it's ever been.
It's not the religion that's doing it. It's these nut jobs,
Sure.
right, that in reality are hurting the Prophet Muhammad, right? It's these people who are using his great name in vain for their own cause, whatever it may be, right? And I think that's the sad part of
They're
this.
doing all the
It's
things
not
that their
the movie.
religion actually tells them not to do.
Exactly.
Sure it does.
You know, look, if they brought up the movie, right, as an excuse to do this, you know, come on, you know.
But no one has claimed responsibility, correct? So how do they know they used the movie? This is just all supposition. This is all speculation. And this is not acceptable.
I think this whole thing was planned around.
Whatever it was, it's criminal and evil.
It's evil, exactly.
I
criminal and
still
evil.
think that this whole thing was planned around September 11th.
For sure.
Right? And they just want to keep, you know, pounding the message to the Americans. Look.
You're not safe wherever you go.
You know, but look, you can have gripes with America. Not a problem. But
The sad part for me, Tom, just interrupting you, is the fact that we don't think it's the Muslim radical. We actually, unfortunately, we go, it's the Muslim.
Religion.
And, you
And
know,
that's
this
sad.
is the
And that's
sad
sad. No,
part.
Michael, you-
This
it's
happened
not,
after
yeah.
September 11 at airports. You sat at airports sitting next to people, and people actually, you could see them shying away from
There was
it.
xenophobia.
It's
There was
unacceptable.
xenophobia. That's
It's unacceptable.
right.
You know,
That's
and
not
and
right.
this is my point, right? They're not hurting anybody except what they believe in.
Sure.
The Muslim religion, the Islamic religion, is actually a very peaceful religion. Obviously, it has some strong points that people can interpret it in many, many ways.
As all
Right?
religions.
But look, even the Christian religion tells you it's an eye for an eye.
Sure.
You don't see a lot of Christians going out there and beating up people and killing people today. The whole point is this, right? America has been attacked again, right? I think it actually gives Americans more opportunity to hate an entire religion, right? Why would you want to do that, right? So these radicals, whether you're in Libya, whether you're in Yemen, whether you're in Saudi
Saudi.
Arabia,
Or the south of
whether you're in
Thailand.
Or the south of
Patani,
Thailand, yeah.
right?
What you're doing is hurting yourself.
You're creating hate.
But you know, one of the good things that I've read in the last week, and I'm really very pleased about, providing we can have some logical content and conversation, is that Prime Minister Yingluck has invited the opposition leader, Abbasid,
Yeah, that's a
to
good
come
thing.
together. That's really a good thing, because no one party can solve this. This is a combination of the parties. It's a combination of getting other people involved from the religions to actually talk about the issue. So if we can go forward on that.
It's not a Southern problem. It's not a Muslim problem. It's not
It's
a
a
religious problem.
Thai
It's
problem.
about nut jobs.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
a nut job problem.
Sure it is.
You know, guys, you know.
We have enough time now to move on.
Actually, wait, for these guys, go play Facebook. It's okay.
Okay, we've got just this little bit of time left, and
Yes,
I've kept
yes.
this topic to the last, and this is something I want to ask Tom, actually.
Okay?
We've seen,
No, I will
we've-
not use Salagra.
No. We've seen a lot of the politicians in Thailand flying to Hong Kong or Beijing or the US.
Shopping?
Including Tom.
Yeah, including yourself.
Shopping,
To
yes.
meet Kun Thaksin,
Yes.
right?
But because we can't meet him here in Thailand.
So,
Simple.
are these people tired of flying? Is Thaksin going to ever come back?
You know, and this is the dichotomy, which is very interesting in Thai society, right? You know, people now actually, a lot of people have flown, and we may have seen in the paper, even, you know, the Bangkok police chief
Yes.
actually
Right.
went to see him, and there's been a lot of negative about that. You know, I mean, this is the whole thing, right? That's kind of sad for our country, right? It's being done right in front of everybody, right? And the whole point is, because there are people who
It's
have to
been
go
done-
see him,
okay.
right? There are people who have to go see him, right? You know, the whole point is just let him back in the country, you know, and then people don't have to fly, and we can say, well, okay, we get mileage, I guess that's a good thing, right? But we can save on.
Go back time and time again.
But then again, the answer is, of course, he can't come back, right, because of all of these things. But when people of influence, when people of respectability in the community, right, you can't say that all the people who went to see him are bad people, right? There are good people who just don't see it the way that the other side may have seen it, and they're being public about it now. They're not, you know, going there hiding in a little hole. I mean, they go see him publicly.
People know about it.
Yeah, you know,
Yeah, I've seen them at the airport taking the flight.
So what is that saying now? You know, it means, look, you know, and to be fair, you know, it's been what, 6 years now? Is it 6 years after the coup? Right? So Thaksin is this evil guy, according to a number of people. They nailed him for one thing, right? Which is the land case, right? That he supposedly had his wife buy it, right? Which, by the way, you know, at that time, the head of the finance ministry, the head of the Bank of Thailand said it was okay, right? 6 years, this guy's been out of the country. 4 of those years, or 5 of those years, was run by the army, was run by the Democrat government, and they nailed him for one thing, right? Isn't it time we just kind of let the guy back so nobody has to fly so far to see him?
I don't know. I mean, you mentioned only one case, but there are many other cases.
But where are these cases?
The truth is out there.
Where are these cases? My whole point is this. You had a coup. You had an army. You had that government of the coup. You had the Democrats. You had every apparatus to nail him on every case.
But he hasn't been nailed,
But
so
why hasn't he been nailed, Adrian?
Well, he's been nailed on one now.
Just one. That's my hope. And is this one?
You know,
but you had the opportunity for 5 years.
And there were no charges made.
He had the opportunity for 5 years. You know, my joke is this, right? You really want to nail Thaksin? Bring him back and hound the heck out of him. Really. Just all the yellow shirts, all the people. I agree. Wherever he goes to dinner, wherever he goes to lunch, bring a group of people and just surround him.
All right, so we're out of time, and thank you very much for watching the topics. It was really interesting today to have Valerie and Tom joining us. It was much more lively, I would assume.
We couldn't get a word in edgeways, really.
Yeah, I didn't have much to say. So
Salagra.
yeah,
Salagra, that's it.
Salagra.
don't
Do you
forget,
need
don't
50 or
forget,
100?
don't forget to catch
Don't
us.
forget to take Salagra.
Don't forget to catch us on Facebook, facebook.com/the topics, where you can share your opinions, ideas, comments, and tell us what you want us to talk about. See you next time.
Believe what they tell you, they try to sell you. When dreams died, plans fell through. They can never break your pride. It's time to regulate.